All right, welcome to Tekken Tech Talk, where we cover tech issues or tech topics in Tekken. Try saying that 5 times fast. If you're new here, the way this works is we've got You're That Russian over there. He'll be asking a seemingly simple question, but as with every seemingly simple question in Tekken, there is actually a very complex explanation or discussion behind it. And we're going to try and cover that topic a little bit better than normally gets covered. So anyways, you can find me _silence on Twitter, and you can find Russian at You're That Russian on Twitter. If you wanted to talk to us any further, if you feel like we ever missed anything, leave a comment down below. If you have a question of your own, don't hesitate to put a comment down below and ask. Might give us good topics for next time. All right, but anyways, without further ado, You're That Russian, what is your question?
How do we properly space in Tekken? Like, what's the proper way to practice spacing or do spacing against an opponent?
Oh, that is an interesting question with a lot of subtlety and depth to it, like all these other questions. All right, so, to properly space. So, the idea of spacing in Tekken is to position yourself in a spot in the game so that you can exert pressure on the opponent, but they cannot exert pressure on you. So, because, I mean, you want to exert pressure because you don't necessarily know if you're going to hit things. So there are actually a lot of different ways of doing that. The most obvious way is to just stay away and try to get them to whiff. So, you can, backdash and get them to whiff and punish them, punish the whiff. So that is like the first layer of spacing, and it's often the one that most people talk about the most, or what they consider spacing in Tekken. But
the common.
Like another aspect, like in this matchup, Nina versus Dragunov. Dragunov actually has a lot more pressure tools at range than Nina does. Like he kind of outranges her a bit with a lot of his moves. So Nina wants to be up close, and she can really pester Dragunov with her fast moves. And then if he tries to like press buttons to get out of the pressure or to counter pressure, you can like sidestep back sway and deal with most of everything what he wants to do up close. So in this matchup, Nina wants to be up close. So that way, so what you do there is you, in our first tech talk, we talked about the, the dash blocks. So you want to get in with dash blocks. And then once you're in, then you can really pressure, a Dragunov player. So when you're doing proper spacing, it really depends on the two different characters. So, like, there are some characters that Nina prefers to be up close to. There are some characters Nina prefers to be farther away from. So,
character that she likes to be farther away from.
Akuma, she prefers to be farther away from Akuma because Akuma actually doesn't have good long-range pressure.
Oh wow.
Yeah, like Akuma's pressure comes from the threat of his down 3.
Okay.
Or down 2, or counter hit down 1. Like fast lows, but you have to be really close in order for those to be a threat. If you're farther out than here, they're not even a threat.
Yeah.
So he has to overextend in order to exert any pressure. Because you can sidewalk will get around a lot of his demon flip stuff and things like that. So in order to properly space, you have to know where your character likes to be and where your opponent's character likes to be, and where, you know, what is the best position for your character in that matchup. Because it will change based on, you know, what characters you each are playing. It can also change based on the player. Because if someone is a really defensive player and just backdashing a lot, they're probably more comfortable playing at a longer range. They might be less comfortable playing up close. So you might want to close the distance and get them out of their comfort zone.
Yeah.
So that's another aspect of spacing that you'll want to, you need to consider when you're formulating your game plan. And it's also something that you might have to change mid-round based on, you know, what's currently happening. So you want to be paying attention to your opponent's habits and what they're doing, because, you know, they might quickly adjust to going from a defensive backdashing to up close. They might be able to adjust quickly to that, and that might not be your preferred space in that matchup. So you might need to, once they've adjusted, you might need to back up again and adjust. So always be paying attention to the current situation and making adjustments accordingly, because your preferred distance might change. So other proper ways to space is to use your side steps, because the side steps will get around linear moves. So, you know, like if I jab and down forward 4, you know, you can step that both ways. And so sidestepping is a part of the spacing. You're utilizing the 3D space to get around linear moves. One of the ways that move balancing happens in Tekken is that, you know, certain moves might have really good properties, but they have a weakness. Every move has a weakness. So it could be like fast, long range counter hit launcher, but it's pretty linear, so you could sidestep it. You know, it could be, you know, minus 12, but have pushback. You know, there's various ways that they balance these, balance the moves. So you have to, like a lot of times, like the keep out type moves, like the down forward 4s, forward 2s, like the keep out type moves are pretty linear. So if you're trying to approach, you know, we talked about in the first Tekken Tech Talk, you've got the dash to sidestep, and that can often get around someone's linear keep out moves.
Yeah. Okay. Huh.
So, you know, that's another proper way to base. And then talking about keep out moves, keep out moves are another good way of utilizing spacing, since you can't just create space just by backdashing, because like if I'm backdashing, Dragunov can just get up, they can move forward faster than you can move back. So if you're just backdashing, you're just giving them a free license to run in and press buttons. So at some point you have to use a keep out move to keep them from, you know, keep them guessing. Because if you don't ever challenge their approach, they will just be able to approach on you for free.
Yeah. Okay.
So keep out moves are super essential. The keep out move that every character has is there's just standing jab. Standing jab is super useful as a keep out move.
How is the standing jab? How can I utilize the standing jab as a keep out?
Well, one of the great things about the standing jab is it's got really good whiff recovery. So they're really hard to whiff punish, just a single standing jab. You know, like if you're trying to do it on reaction, it's almost impossible to whiff punish a single standing jab. It's also one of the fastest move in the game. So you can use it to stuff slower moves. So if they're trying to get in with bigger moves, you know, you can jab to interrupt it.
I saw that. So just jab and jab sometimes, huh? Oh.
Yeah, so you can just jab to interrupt things. The things you have to be wary of is that this jabs tend not to have the greatest range. So you have to be careful about that, unless you're Gigas, in which case you've got like a full screen jab. But
I know that's like the third best jab in the game, which I really love.
Yeah, Gigas has like super good single jab. It's still +1. It's got great range. It has good tracking. But also single jabs tend not to have a lot of tracking as well. So never, don't forget just the sheer utility of
the jab.
Of a single jab. And then another thing that can be make it useful is if you hit tap forward and then jab, you will track a bit better. So like, yeah, so if I'm gonna jab and then hit forward and jab, and I'm gonna jab, you block it and then try to sidestep.
Oh.
Alright. Not working so well in this case. So, looks like it might depend more on your, on when I start my jab. Yeah, so you got to delay the forward a bit, because the forward will realign a bit. So yeah, so like in this particular situation, it's not as apparent, but like in like maybe in
can't you hold back also? Can't that be a method?
You can hold back, but oftentimes back and one is a different move. There's hardly ever any forward one. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, it tracks a little bit better because it will realign when you hit forward. A little bit better.
What if you double tap forward?
What?
What if you double tap forward? Huh.
Yeah, I mean, so you can still step him, but it just makes it track a little bit better.
Yeah.
Alright, so then there's other keep out moves like the generic magic 4s. Not every character has a generic magic 4, but you know, they're really useful because they're counter hit tools. You know, anything that has like a good long range hitbox, Nina's down forward 3 or down forward 4, you know, are good. Things that you want to be looking for on keep up moves too is fast whiff recovery. Because the faster the whiff recovery, the harder it is for them to punish you for trying it. So like you're not going to get a faster whiff recovery than the standing jab, generally. But, you know, like, you know, just, you know, if you know how bad moves are on whiff, you know, you can kind of take a look. So if you don't know, one thing you can do is in practice mode, if you go to the display settings and do recovery animation and put on display, you'll notice they'll glow blue when they're recovering, when you can't do anything.
Oh, okay.
So you notice how when I do a single jab, she's just blue for a short time, but if I do like a standing 4, it's a lot longer.
Oh, wow.
You know, down forward 2 is a lot longer, down forward 4, not too long. Like wipe the floor, that's blue for forever. So you can kind of get an idea of how the whiff recovery is on certain moves. See how long that one took to recover on whiff?
Yeah.
So you know, you can use this to kind of see what you have that has fast whiff recovery and use those as, and figure out how to use those as keep out move. Anyways, any questions on how to properly space Russian?
Not at the moment, no.
All right. Well, I think that about covers the topic for right now. So don't forget, leave a comment down below if I've missed anything, or if you have any other suggestions, or if you have any questions yourself that you would like covered. Might give us a good idea for a topic. Yeah, but if you want to follow me, I'm at @the_silence at Twitter, and Russian is at YourThatRussian on Twitter. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and do all that other stuff. And we'll see you next time for Tekken Tech Talk.
Alrighty, have a good day.
Alright.